Chef Anna. I would like to welcome you to my kitchen. Today I have something very special but spicy to cook in my kitchen today, and I'd like to invite you into my kitchen so that we can start cooking this particular Cambodian or Khmer food. It's called Larb. Larb is term for a Khmer tradition, authentic Khmer cooking back in the day went. So it's involved a lot of chopping, a lot of preparation. So I would like to welcome you to my kitchen so that I can show you how we can make this dish together. Please come in. First of all, we will need about 5 pounds of ground beef, ground chicken, or ground pork, or even seafood. For example, shrimp will do. But today I have ground pork. We can also do turkey meat as well. I promise you that we will have fun cooking today because we'll be doing a lot of mincing, dicing, and cutting. What I did first was that wash and dry all these vegetables. Okay, we need about half a cup of scallions chopped up. As for the kaffir leaves, if you don't have it, you're fine. But if you do have it, we need to debone it like I do here. Once you're done deboning it, then you need to bundle it up and then prepare for fine dicing it. I prefer a very sharp knife because it does a better job at mincing this type of vegetable. How I did this safely is to have my knife at about 30-degree positions outward. Because I have been doing this for a long time, I am very comfortable of using sharp knife to do dicing, mincings, and choppings. Okay, next we have cilantro. It's so easy, just bundle it up and chop it away. In combined, I have about half a cup of chopped cilantros. What I like best in the cookings are the different varieties of vegetables or herbs in colors. It makes food look so palatable, so beautiful, so inviting. So I'm adding some sweet peppers here. It has colors of yellow, red, and orange. In fact, you can add jalapenos in this cooking also to add up the spice and the heat. If I am doing this cooking for myself, I would add chopped Thai chilies. Since my mom can't eat this spice anymore, so I slow down on putting extra chilies and then dice up the whole medium onion. It mesh up to be about 1 cup of diced onions. Because I like decorating my cooking, so the next thing I do is to select some of the long stem scallions and then watch how I do my pearl scallions. I know there are much easier way to do this, but I'm comfortable doing it the way I'm doing it. So be careful with your fingers if you're doing the way I'm doing it. Put it on the cardboard and threading it. A better way would be the effective way to curl this scallions is to have a bowl icy cold water and then you just leave it in for 10-15 minutes and you just watch it curl. I was taught how to decorate food and make food look pretty when I was just a little girl. I had the opportunity of living near my great-grandmother. So she is Thai descent, so they're all about making food looking pretty. Everything have to be in carving, fruit and vegetables. I apologize. I forgot about the roasted chili flakes. The flakes will need it for decorations and for the flavors also. I didn't take much learning from her because I wasn't interested in cooking at that time, but I learned just a few things from her, which is valuable now. In my cultures, young ladies are taught very young to do all domestic responsibilities, include cooking, cleaning, sewing, embroidery, and I never liked any of that. But I did watching her having the fruits and vegetables and turn everything into gorgeous plates of food. Okay, now let's go into measuring our other ingredients. Tablespoon of sugar, a tablespoon of chicken bouillon, a tablespoon of tamarind soup base. Or you can use limes or lemon juice, that work as well. Authentic, I have to use, to make it roasted chili flakes, a tablespoon also. And you cannot forget the fish sauce. I will need a tablespoon of it also. What makes this recipe so unique is the roasted rice flake. We will need about half a cup. Roasted rice. If you're not familiar with roasted rice powder, please visit video 32. It'll show you how to make it. And the next ingredients would be the fermented fish paste. You will need to boil it and blanch it until it dissolves. We'll make about half a cup of fermented fish paste. Once the fish paste dissolves, we'll remove from the stove to let it cool down. The next thing we will do is to cook our meat. Our meats need to be cooked really well. Preheated pan or skillet will add 1 teaspoon of cooking oil and then put the whole meat the preheated. I love cast iron skillet. It's heavy, it's durable, and it's stationary. We'll just stir the meat to make sure that it cooks evenly. And here's a tip to keep this cast iron pots and pan from rusty is to wash it good, towel dry, and then coat it with cooking oil. This will keep it from getting rusty. Well, the meat has been cooking for the past 5 or 8 minutes or so, but it's not quite done yet. While waiting for our meat to be done, let's drain our fermented paste. This is the refined process of our paste. We use a small strainer to pour the paste into it and strain it nicely. This process will help remove and separate the bones or any large pieces that we don't want to go into our cooking. Here you go. Okay, let's go back to our meat. I think it's about done now. What I'm doing is trying to refine the pieces so that way when we combine all the ingredients that it will blend really well. What we'll do is since the meat are done, I am going to transfer it into a large bowl and set it aside to cool down. Transfer our cooked meat into a large bowl to let it sit for about 30 minutes to let it cool down. To help cool it down faster, you can fan it and you can stir it around. The logical reason for allowing the meat to cool down will help when we comprise all of our fresh ingredients, especially the cilantro, the kaffir leaves, and the green scallions that will stay green and fresh and pretty, and also the pepper. And the next thing we will want to do is to combine all dry and liquid ingredient first. So this way it will help us minimize the heat that it may be hidden heat in the meat. And when we constantly stirring it and tossing it, it'll get cooled down eventually. I am very particular about the pork meat and the chicken meats, especially cooking it thoroughly would be an ordeal. Alright, here we go. The meats are now cooling down at just the right temperature, and go ahead and we'll comprise all the dry and the liquid ingredients in first. This way it'll help cool down the meat even further. As for the green leaves of herbs and spices, we'll put last. That way the colors of the herbs will remain greens and fresh. What I'm doing here also to smash all the large crumbs of the meat. That way it'll blend in very well with other ingredients. Once I have all the dried and the liquid ingredients onto the meat in the bowl, I'm making sure that I keep it stirred, toss, and turn really well to give it a good blending. As for the fermented fish paste, I only going to use about 2.5 to 3 tablespoons of it because it already has a lot of sodium in it. Okay, now we just have our fermented fish sauce in it. So therefore we need to stir this bowl really well to give a really good blending so that way it isn't spotted with salt. Alright, now that we have all dried and liquid ingredients into the bowl and blend really well, so it's time for us to add our fresh ingredients. So I did with the kaffir leaf first and follow with the onions and then the, oops, I apologize. It's my bad. I forgot to add the roasted rice flake. So let's do now. There's no harm done. It can be added last before we add our green vegetables. It's fine as well. That way it gives a really nice texture. Right, so you did a good job in following the direction order. So right now you can add all the vegetables in there. I start with the kafolis and the onions and cilantros and then the green onions also. Just add it in, blend it up, and then you want to add your chili peppers, go ahead. You want to add your peppers right now, go ahead and spice it up and make it look so pretty. So this is a moment that you will also design your own taste. If you want it to be a little more sour, then add lemon juice or the tamarind soup base. If it's not enough salt, then add the fermented fish paste sauce or even fish sauce to your liking. Hey, thank you for helping in the kitchen today, right? You did a good job. And I hope you learned a great deal of this recipe. So what I have prepared beforehand were these romaine lettuce and sliced cucumbers and carrots, whatever the colors you like to have a display on your big plate, right? So I have my embellishment piece of, remember I had the curl onions, the curls scallions, so I added it all up. So spice it up, make it look pretty. I know you know how to make arrangement and all the embellishment to make it look good. If you don't want to, then fine, go simple, go plain. I'm okay with that. But as for me, transparency is everything. I love pretty food. I love to look at beautiful, nice arrangement because it makes you happy. And yes, if I'm happy, the food should taste good also. It's just me. But then this dish here, it reminds me of my great-grandparents, how they would love to see this dish done being pretty, being transparent, being colorful, decorative way of showing your food case. I miss that. I miss the opportunity of learning more about them. But I reinvent my own show, my own decorations. You see that, just use imagination. You add colors. All it is the color. The more colors, the food, varieties of colors, the prettier the food will look. And use the big plate. Fill it up with vegetables, fill it up with colors of vegetables and ingredients and mixtures of mints and all those herbs. They're all good for you. We have completed our cooking today. I appreciate your time being here. Please share, subscribe, and like. I appreciate your support. Thank you.